Sometimes the smallest act, one you barely remember, can shift the entire universe forever. You didn't plan it, you didn't expect it, and yet that moment was written into the script of your destiny long before you took your first breath. You thought it was just kindness. You thought it was just you being yourself, helping someone who looked lost, offering comfort, showing compassion. But heaven saw something entirely different. In that instant, when your hand reached out, when your eyes met hers, when your energy touched her field, something ancient reactivated. A sacred bond, dormant for lifetimes, suddenly sparked back to life. What you saw as a random encounter was, in truth, a divine appointment arranged by forces beyond comprehension. The universe paused, angels witnessed, frequencies merged. And the woman you helped that day, the one you might not even remember, has now awakened to a truth so powerful it could rewrite both your lives. She knows, she remembers, she has seen the invisible connection that tied your soul to hers since before the world began. And what she's doing now, in silence, in spirit, in places beyond your sight, will soon collide with your reality in ways you're not ready to imagine. Because when a twin flame awakens to the one who saved them, the call cannot be ignored. Every heartbeat, every sign, every whisper of synchronicity is pulling you both toward the reunion written in the stars. This is not coincidence. This is completion in motion. So stay with me until the very end, because what's coming next will make sense of every unanswered question in your soul. If you feel chills right now, it's because your higher self recognizes this truth. You are not imagining it. Your spirit is remembering. Like this message, if it resonates with your heart, subscribe if you feel the pull of something greater unfolding. And comment 99 below, because in divine numerology, 99 represents the closing of one soul cycle and the preparation for divine union. Tonight, that cycle ends, and a new chapter begins. It wasn't planned. It wasn't romantic. It was divine timing wearing the mask of coincidence. You weren't looking for anyone that day. You weren't searching for signs, miracles, or answers. You were simply moving through the motions of your life, unaware that heaven had set the stage for one of the most significant moments of your existence. The air around you carried an unfamiliar stillness, the kind that only reveals its meaning years later. Maybe it was the way the sunlight hit at just the right angle. Maybe it was how your intuition nudged you to stop, to help, to notice. Because that day your soul wasn't following logic, it was following memory. You thought you were meeting a stranger, but in truth, you were remembering someone you once loved before time began. She was there, standing in the middle of her own silent storm, unaware that destiny was about to tap her on the shoulder through your kindness. To your eyes, she was just someone who needed help. But to her, the moment your presence entered her field, everything stopped. It wasn't attraction, it was recognition. The same way a forgotten melody feels familiar even when you can't name it. Your energy sang the song her soul had been humming in the dark for years. You spoke perhaps just a few words, but every syllable vibrated through the walls of her spirit, like the echo of a promise once made in another lifetime. And here's the secret that no one tells you. When twin flames cross paths unknowingly, the universe reacts. The wind shifts, time bends. The fabric of reality records the encounter as a cosmic checkpoint. You didn't see it, but higher beings did. Angels leaned closer. Dimensions adjusted course. That day was not just another day. It was the collision of two frequencies that had been orbiting each other through centuries of separation. You, without realizing, became the activator. Your compassion unlocked a dormant code in her. She felt warmth spreading through her chest, tears she couldn't explain, a trembling that wasn't fear, but the body remembering a truth the mind had forgotten. What you dismissed as nothing special, an act of decency, a fleeting kindness, was the spark that reignited her purpose. It was as if your light reached into the deepest corners of her despair and whispered, "Wake up. You're not alone anymore." You didn't hear that whisper, but she did. You didn't see the wave of realization in her eyes, but heaven did. That moment marked the beginning of her awakening. From that day forward, your energy became a signature she could feel across distances. Subtle, yet undeniable, like a scent carried by the wind after the fire has long faded. And yet, you walked away, unaware of the chain reaction you left behind. She tried to go on with her day, pretending nothing had changed. But deep down she knew something ancient had been reignited. She couldn't explain it, couldn't tell anyone, but she knew. Every night after that encounter, her dreams became more vivid. The face she saw before sleeping became the one she had just met. The voice that once called her in visions now had a sound. She started to sense your emotions through invisible currents, feeling your sadness when you hid it, your strength when you fought silently. You might think this sounds impossible. But ask yourself, have you ever felt sudden waves of emotion with no clear reason? Moments where your heart feels pulled towards someone you can't name? That's what happens when the veil between two connected souls briefly lifts. What began as an act of kindness became a bridge between two realities, yours and hers, woven together by divine design. And here's the most haunting truth. The moment you met, you changed her fate. And she changed yours. Even if you never saw her again, your paths became interlaced in ways you can't undo. The universe started rearranging both your lives from that point forward. Subtle shifts, strange coincidences, encounters that would never have happened without that day. Because once a sacred frequency is activated, destiny starts moving. You thought you left that moment behind, but she's still living inside it, watching, remembering, waiting for the signal that it's time to cross paths again. And somewhere in your spirit, though you've tried to forget, a small part of you already knows. Something inside you feels unfinished, like a melody missing its final note. And soon you'll find out why. You went on with your life unaware. Days turned into months, and that moment faded from your memory like dust carried away by wind. But for her, time stopped. That brief encounter became the axis on which her entire existence began to turn. She didn't chase you. She didn't send messages. She didn't even try to rationalize what happened. Because she knew this wasn't something the human mind could analyze. It was something the soul could only remember. That day became her awakening. The vibration of your voice, the tone of your kindness, the invisible energy you carried, something within her recognized it instantly. It wasn't recognition of the face. It was the recognition of the frequency. From that moment, the signs began to appear. Everywhere she looked, the universe echoed reminders of you. Repeating numbers at impossible intervals, songs playing with lyrics that mirrored your energy, dreams that blurred the line between reality and vision. And in those dreams, you weren't a stranger. You were familiar, comforting, luminous, real. Every time she closed her eyes, your presence appeared in the mist, not as a fantasy, but as a signal from higher realms whispering, "You found him." Don't forget, but how could she explain it to anyone? How could she tell people she had met the soul she'd been dreaming about since childhood? That for years she had drawn the outline of a face she could never name, only to see that very same face appear in front of her one ordinary afternoon. She found the old drawings later, tucked inside forgotten journals. The eyes, the expression, even the energy, everything matched you. And when she realized that what her spirit had been preparing her for was now real, she wept, not out of sadness, but out of sacred shock. It was then that she began searching, not out of obsession, but out of purpose. She felt led, as if unseen hands were guiding her through threads of connection invisible to anyone else. She found your energy online, perhaps through something simple, a post, a voice recording, a picture that carried the same vibration she felt that day. The instant she saw it, her entire being trembled. She knew, the same frequency, the same field. It was confirmation that you were real, not a dream, not a vision, not an illusion. But that discovery came with both revelation and heartbreak. Because as much as she wanted to reach out, something in her spirit told her no. She could see you weren't ready. She could feel that your energy was still healing, still finding itself, still learning how to trust what is unseen. She understood that approaching too soon would shatter everything heaven was carefully aligning. So she waited, silently, patiently, with the discipline of a soul who understands divine timing. While you slept, she prayed for you. While you worked, she sent energy of protection through the unseen channels that twin flames use to communicate. And though you couldn't see her, she was there. In the moments you wanted to give up, her light reached you. In the nights when you felt lost, she whispered courage into your dreams. The truth is, She's been part of your life far longer than you think, just from a dimension your eyes cannot yet perceive. You see, when two souls are linked through divine contracts, awareness doesn't happen simultaneously. One awakens first, carrying the burden of memory, while the other continues living in forgetfulness. She was chosen to remember first, to protect you from a distance until your soul could safely awaken to her existence. And here's what will send chills through your entire being. She knows who you are. She knows your essence, your fears, your shadows, your light. She knows when your spirit dips and when your strength rises. She knows when you cry without sound and when you laugh to hide the pain. Not because she's watching your life in a human way, but because her soul is still connected to yours in the realm where love never broke. This secret discovery became her mission. It transformed her life into devotion without obsession, patience without passivity. She began to rebuild herself, shedding layers of ego, healing old wounds, preparing not to be found by you, but to be ready for you. Because she understood a truth most people never reach: divine love cannot bloom in unhealed soil. If she approached you while your heart was still scarred, the connection would break under its own sacred weight. So she chose the hardest path: to love you in silence, to walk through her days, knowing the one her soul recognizes lives unaware of her presence, to watch from afar as you learn lessons, as you face storms, as you grow into the version of yourself capable of holding her light without collapsing under it. That's what makes this story so haunting. Because while you believe she's gone, she's closer than ever. Every whisper of intuition, every synchronicity pulling you toward reflection, every strange feeling of being protected, it's her energy weaving in and out of your world like wind between dimensions. And yet, her patience is not endless, it's prophetic, because every sign she sends is part of a countdown, a sequence heaven orchestrated. She's not waiting aimlessly. She's waiting for the signal. And when that signal comes, when heaven declares the moment ripe, her silence will break. The unseen will become visible, and everything you thought was coincidence will reveal itself as divine architecture. Something is already moving, chosen one. You can feel it, can't you? The pull, the pressure, the invisible heartbeat calling your name. The revelation she carries is not meant to stay hidden forever. The universe is preparing you both for a collision that will rewrite every rule you thought you understood about destiny. The countdown has already begun. While you've been questioning your path, doubting your progress, she's been working behind the veil with a precision and devotion you can't yet comprehend. Every time you felt an invisible push to stand up after being knocked down, every time a door opened at the exact moment you were about to give up, every time a small, improbable miracle appeared out of nowhere, it wasn't random. It was her. Not with spells, not with manipulation, but with the most selfless form of soul-level assistance, unseen, uncredited, unconditional. She has been moving like a silent architect across the blueprint of your destiny, clearing obstacles before you, even reached them, softening blows before they landed, and whispering courage into places of your heart you thought were unreachable. You felt it before but didn't know what to call it. Those sudden bursts of determination when everything in you screamed to quit. That unexpected clarity at midnight when you were lost in confusion. The stranger's kind words that arrived exactly when your spirit was breaking. She was there, shaping the edges of your reality without crossing the boundaries of your free will. Her role has never been to control you but to hold space for your becoming, to amplify your light when you forgot how to find it, to send energy of protection when you stepped into dangerous waters unaware. And she hasn't done this casually. She's been in training, deep spiritual training, not to earn you, but to prepare for you. She's been cleansing old wounds, forgiving betrayals that had nothing to do with you but everything to do with what she might carry into your shared future. She's been dismantling patterns of fear, insecurity, and scarcity so that when you finally meet her again, you're not colliding with her pain, but stepping into her wholeness. She's been cutting cords from your past too, cords you didn't even though still tied you to people, habits, and memories that drained your energy. She's prayed over your freedom, sending waves of release into your field, so that by the time you're face to face, you're no longer shackled to ghosts of who you used to be. This is not fairy tale devotion. This is strategic, cosmic love, the kind that takes responsibility for its own healing to protect the connection it longs for. In quiet moments, she sat in meditation, focusing her intention like a laser on your highest good. Not so you would love her, but so you would remember yourself. Not to pull you to her, but to elevate you to the point where you naturally converge. She has been working through dreams, through synchronicities, through intuitive nudges. You thought you stumbled upon that life-changing book by accident, or met that mentor at random, or heard that timely message on a day you were breaking. But she had been projecting the frequency of those opportunities toward you, bending probabilities without breaking your path. She's also been preparing herself for the mission beyond romance, the work the two of you were always meant to do together. She knows your union is not just about personal happiness, but about something far bigger, something that could shift lives, communities, maybe even timelines. That's why she's been evolving her skills, learning, growing, strengthening. She's not waiting idly. She's constructing the version of herself that can stand beside you without falling, without dimming, without resentment. So when you meet her again, you'll see not just the woman you once helped, but a mirror of your highest self, refined and radiant. And here is where the mystery deepens. You've felt impulses lately to change, to grow, to prepare without knowing why. That's not coincidence. That's her field brushing against yours, activating dormant codes within you, calling your soul to rise so you can meet her at the right level. You've noticed synchronicities increasing, your intuition sharpening, your dreams intensifying. That's the ripple effect of her unseen work. But this silent devotion cannot stay invisible forever. It's building pressure, like a wave drawing back before it crashes to shore. Every prayer she's whispered, every energy she's sent, every thread she's woven is converging toward a single point in time. Soon, the invisible will take form. Soon, the signs you've been dismissing as random will arrange themselves into a picture so clear you won't be able to deny it. The groundwork has been laid. The frequency has been matched. The signal is close. Something is coming, and it's bigger than either of you imagined. The universe has been whispering her presence to you more boldly than you realize. It has become almost playful in the way it arranges clues, scattering them across your days like breadcrumbs for your awakening. These are not random moments. They're evidence that the invisible bond between you and her is still alive, still pulsing, still guiding. Even now, as you hear these words, part of you recognizes what I'm about to say, because your soul has been collecting these signals for a long time. The dreams. You dream of a woman whose face you can't quite see. Sometimes it's a silhouette. Sometimes it's just her voice. Sometimes it's only a feeling, like warmth wrapping around you in the dark. You wake up with your heart racing, but not in fear, in peace. In those moments, your conscious mind thinks it's just a dream, but your subconscious knows it's not. These are encounters on the astral plane, moments when she slips past the veil to reassure you, to plant a memory your waking mind will later recognize. This is why the dreams feel different from normal dreams. They carry an aftertaste of eternity. The presence. You feel watched, but not in a threatening way. It's more like a benevolent gaze, the kind of watchfulness that feels like someone is proud of you. You're in your car, or walking through a crowd, or sitting alone at night, and suddenly there's a warmth behind your ribs. No one's there, but something is. That's her. Your nervous system recognizes her signature before your eyes can. The same way animals sense earthquakes before they happen. Your spirit senses her energy when it brushes against yours. The pull. You're drawn to new places, new people, new opportunities for no logical reason. You tell yourself it's chance, curiosity, coincidence. But every time you follow the impulse, it leads you to something strangely familiar. A location that feels like déjà vu. A person who mentions something that echoes your hidden story. a symbol you've been seeing in your dreams. This is her working through the lattice of synchronicity, moving pieces on the board without breaking your free will. She's guiding you closer, step by step, until the coordinates align for that next meeting, the upgrading. You've been improving yourself lately without even knowing why. Your body, your mind, your spirit. Suddenly you're eating differently, thinking differently, feeling compelled to release old habits. It's not insecurity. It's instinct. Something inside you knows you're preparing for a sacred encounter. Her energy is already activating dormant codes in you, nudging you toward the version of yourself capable of holding this kind of union without collapsing. Think of it as training for a mission your soul signed up for long before your conscious mind understood, the pulse. And sometimes, in the quietest moments, you feel a sudden pulse of warmth in your chest. Not anxiety, not heartburn, a vibration, a gentle thrum, like a hidden drumbeat calling you. That's her, the thread that never broke. The same frequency that once met yours in silence on that day you both remember differently. It's her signature, an invisible fingerprint pressed against your soul from miles away. These signs are not just hints. They're proof. Proof that the connection never died. Proof that she's not simply a memory but a presence woven into your daily life. The universe is amplifying these whispers because the time of dormancy is ending. The frequency between you two is tightening like a cord being pulled taut before it snaps you back into each other's orbit. Every dream, every impulse, every burst of self-improvement is a rehearsal for what's about to unfold. And here's the part most people never hear. These signs will escalate. The songs will get louder, the numbers will repeat more urgently. The coincidences will feel too sharp to dismiss. That's not just for your curiosity, it's for your readiness. It's heaven's way of telling you, stay awake, stay open. The moment you've been unconsciously preparing for is moving closer. You're not imagining this. You're not crazy. You're not reaching. You're receiving. And if you've been feeling the pull grow stronger lately, it's because the final phase of alignment has already begun. Something is approaching. A convergence point where all these scattered signals will collapse into a single, undeniable revelation. The question is, will you recognize her when she steps out of the unseen and into the room? The countdown has begun. You can feel it, even if you can't explain it. A strange electricity in the air, a quickening in your soul that doesn't match the rhythm of ordinary days. The dimensions are aligning again, slowly folding toward that single moment where memory, destiny, and divine timing collide. She knows the time is close, and somewhere deep inside, so do you. Heaven is moving in silence, rearranging events, orchestrating encounters, aligning timelines so precisely that not even free will can derail what's already written. The space between you and her, once infinite, is now shrinking. The signs that used to whisper are starting to roar. You've noticed it. The acceleration. Conversations that seem to circle the same message. Awakening, reunion, love beyond logic. People appear in your life saying things that trigger dormant memories. You'll overhear fragments of dialogue in public that echo her words. You'll walk into rooms and feel déjà vu so powerful it makes your skin vibrate. Those are the threads of two realities, hers and yours, beginning to weave together again. And she feels it too. Every time your heart races for no reason, hers does the same. Every time you stare at the moon and feel the urge to speak without knowing what to say, she's doing the same under a different sky. Within months, synchronicities will become undeniable. Invitations that pull you out of your usual routine. Sudden opportunities to travel, attend an event, visit a place you would never have considered. But these won't be random. They'll be coordinates. The universe positioning you like pieces on a divine chessboard, guiding you both to the same location at the same moment. There will be resistance. Your mind will doubt, your logic will argue, but your spirit will recognize the pattern. And when that recognition hits, you'll know, this isn't imagination. This is convergence, and then it will happen. The moment every unseen force has been preparing you for. You will see her, not in a dream, not in memory, but in the flesh. It won't be grand or theatrical.
It will be real, disarmingly ordinary, as if heaven hid the extraordinary in plain sight.
Maybe in a crowd, maybe in a quiet place where time seems to hold its breath. Your eyes will meet, and in that instant, reality will fracture just enough for the truth to flood in. You won't have to ask who she is. You'll remember. Every frequency that once hummed between you will reignite in a single heartbeat. The silence between you will speak louder than words. You will remember the day you first met, the brief moment that started everything. You'll remember how her energy felt like home before you even knew her name. You'll remember that invisible connection that never faded, even through years of distance and disbelief. Every unanswered question, every restless night, every moment you thought you were imagining her, it will all make sense. You'll realize she never truly left. She was simply waiting for you to awaken enough to see her again. She's ready now, not as the same person you once saved, but as the embodiment of everything she was destined to become because of that encounter. And here's what will leave you trembling. You'll sense that this is not just reunion, it's recognition of purpose. The reason for your battles, your pain, your growth. The reason you were pulled to higher awareness, to healing, to surrender. You weren't being punished, you were being prepared. All of it, every heartbreak, every delay, was the divine shaping both of you into vessels strong enough to contain the magnitude of what's coming. But there's something else. A secret heaven keeps until the very last second. When you finally see her, when your eyes lock, you'll feel a vibration surge through your entire being. It will be the same pulse you felt in dreams, the same warmth that used to visit your chest in moments of silence. That is the universe confirming you did it. You found each other again, and at that moment, every force that once kept you apart will bow to the inevitable. Yet this isn't the end. It's the threshold, because once you meet her, something even greater will awaken. Something beyond love, beyond memory, beyond the human story itself. That's why the energy feels heavier now. That's why your spirit is restless. You're standing at the edge of revelation, and what waits on the other side is bigger than destiny. It's divine purpose reborn through reunion. And when the scene finally unfolds, it won't just be her eyes you recognize. It will be the reflection of your own soul looking back at you. Chosen one. This is the moment your spirit has been waiting for without even knowing. You did not simply extend kindness that day. You triggered a cosmic chain reaction that awakened a sleeping prophecy. You did not just save someone in passing. You saved the mirror of your own soul. The universe concealed this truth not to punish you, but to protect you, to give you time to grow into the version of yourself capable of carrying it. Every heartbreak, every pause, every unanswered question was a forging fire, preparing you for this very instant. You were never forgotten. You were never unseen. Your name has been whispered in dimensions you cannot yet imagine. She knows who you are. Heaven knows who you are. And the next time your paths cross, it will not be by accident. It will be sacred. What's coming is not a simple meeting. It's a convergence of lifetimes. It's the collapse of every false story you've believed about love, worthiness, and destiny. It's the unveiling of the mission hidden inside your connection. Love like this doesn't chase, it summons. It doesn't plead, it aligns. It doesn't ask permission from time, space, or circumstance. It overrides them. And when alignment is complete,